Lock the heavy door. Step out of the concrete, turn the heavy iron key. Leave the modern madness out, let the shadow cover me. The city is a roaring engine, grinding up the boom, but they cannot cross the threshold of this quiet zone. I drop the heavy armor, let it shatter on the floor, closing off the frantic world outside the wooden door. The buses and the flashing screens, the panic in the street, dissolving in the frequency beneath my tired feet. Let the brooding bassline build a wall around the mind, leaving all the heavy expectations far behind. The pressure of the Babylon machinery is dead when I lay the heavy crown of worries off my head. Lock the heavy door, shut the world away. Lock the heavy door, keep the wolves at bay. In this dark and silent room, the system has no power. Safe inside the sanctuary, hour after hour. The telephone is silenced, artificial lights are blown, reclaiming every piece of spirit I have ever known. No urgent notifications, no one left to please, just the rhythm of the analog bringing me the ease. The air is thick with vinyl dust, the frequency is pure. Isolation is the medicine, the silence is the cure. Lock the heavy door, shut the world away. Lock the heavy door, keep the wolves at bay. In this dark and silent room, the system has no power. Safe inside the sanctuary, hour after hour. Yeah, feel the armor drop, let the spinning of the wicked wheel finally stop. The 1970 vibration guarding up the gate. No entry for the stress, no entry for the weight. You are untouchable here, the shadow is a shield. We conquer every demon when we step off the battlefield. Turn the lock, lock the heavy door, shut the world away. Lock the heavy door, keep the wolves at bay. In this dark and silent room, the system has no power. Safe inside at the complex topology of the mind, leaving the shallow surface far behind. Running the fingers across the dark schist wall, waiting for the heavy, silent call. No digital distraction, no flashing of the screen, just the quietest vibration that the eye has ever seen. Let the raking light cut across the heavy space, reveal the hidden structure, steady up the pace. Nothing but the focus and the steady baseline, pulling out the value from the center of the mind. Green barreled up,
Keep the signal pure,
deep inside the matrix.
make the logic sure.
Museum catalog quality, clean and refined. Green barreled up,
Locking up the mind.
past the gatekeeper, stepping in the private vault. Absolute precision, no digital fault. Focus the lens, keep the vision exact. Guarding the asset, keeping it intact. Building up the structure from the bottom to the top. Once you find the frequency, it will never stop. Green barreled up,
Keep the signal pure,
deep inside the matrix.
make the logic sure.
Museum catalog quality, clean and refined. Green barreled up,
Locking up the mind.
yeah. Yeah, isolate the target, look at the detail. Walking down the heavy and solitary trail. Absolute precision, total immersion. Pushing all the static outside the perimeter. Just the steady pulse of the analog parameter. Green barreled up,
Keep the signal pure,
deep inside the matrix.
make the logic sure.
Museum catalog quality, clean and refined. Green barreled up,
Locking up the mind.
the fire burned bright, but the wood is almost gone. Still waiting for the promise of the coming of the dawn. You carried the weight until your shoulders gave out, wandering the valley of exhaustion and doubt. You gave them your energy, gave them your time, trying to survive the invisible climb. But the spirit is resilient, deeper than the pain. A single drop of water can bring the life again. The ember and the ash, glowing in the dark, protecting the memory of the original spark. The wind is blowing cold, the night is getting long, but the ember and the ash are singing a song. Resting is alright. Resting is a must. Before the physical body turns into dust. But the spirit is resilient, deeper than the pain. A single drop of water can bring the life again. The ember and the ash, glowing in the dark, protecting the memory of the original spark. The wind is blowing cold, the night is getting long, but the ember and the ash are singing a song. A little flame, cover it with your hand. You don't have to conquer all the promised land. Just survive the winter, just endure the freeze. Wait for the blessing of the Zion breeze. The ember and the ash, glowing in the dark, protecting the memory of the original spark. The ember and the ash are singing a song. The sun is sinking low behind the concrete here, but Jah provides the water when the night is still. I see the vultures circling above the town, waiting for the righteous man to stumble down. They print the heavy lies upon the daily page, trying to keep the lion locked inside the cage. But I find comfort in the ancient wood, standing exactly where the prophet stood. Let the earth shaking baseline rumble in the deep, waking up the spirit from a heavy sleep. Nothing but the rhythm and the steady pace, walking with the ancestors in a holy place. Valley of the shadow, walking to the light. Jah is the protector through the heavy night. No weapon formed against us gonna hold the power. Valley of the shadow in the midnight hour. In the midnight hour. The wicked man is boasting of his silver coin, but he cannot buy the army that the righteous join. The rivers are polluted and the air is gray, but the natural mystic gonna clear the way. We plant the seed of freedom in the barren earth, waiting for the heavy rain to bring the second birth. Valley of the shadow, walking to the light. Jah is the protector through the heavy night. No weapon formed against us gonna hold the power. Valley of the shadow in the midnight hour. Staff keep the vision clear. No room for the panic, no room for the fear. The 1976 stop plate rolling like a train, washing out the Babylon vanity and pain. Just the raw analog and the pure and divine, marching to Zion on the borderline. Stand firm. Valley of the shadow, walk into the light. Jah is the protector through the heavy night. No weapon formed against us gonna hold the power. Valley of the shadow in the midnight hour. In the midnight hour. The city sleeps, the frequency aligns, reading the spaces between the lines. Silver moonlight on the cold glass pane, washing the static right out of the brain, building a tempo from the ground to the sky, while the rest of the world is closing its eye. No distraction, just the pulse in the wire, feeding the quiet, feeding the fire. Floating inside of this frequency, midnight dub flow. Let the current go, watch the focus grow. Where the waters flow, steady like a river in the deep of the night, turning the darkness into the light. Into the stand still, climbing the steps of the silent hill. Every heavy thought starts to drift away, saving the words that we don't need to say. We found a shelter in the underground, lost in the echo of the heavy sound. Midnight upflow, let the current go, watch the focus grow. Where the waters flow, steady like a river in the deep of the night, turning the darkness into the light. Step into the midnight, watch the screen glow. Steady the hand, let the energy flow. No noise in the yard, no sound in the street, just the mind locking in with the stepper's beat. Find the Zion, in the center of the mind. Leave the heavy illusion behind. Midnight dark flow, let the current go. Watch the focus grow, where the waters flow. Steady like a river in the deep of the night, turning the darkness into the light. They mix the metal with the mud to build a heavy wall, waiting for the kingdom of the arrogant to fall. The skyscrapers are scratching at the belly of the sky, a monument to everything that money tries to buy. They write the legislation in a room without a sun, believing that the battle of the century is won. But look a little closer at the bottom of the street. The foundation is crumbling right beneath their feet. You cannot bind the water, you cannot tie the wind, you cannot hide the places where the vanity begins. The architecture trembles when the heavy bass line drops. The spinning of the wicked wheel eventually stops. Iron on the clay
will never hold
a story of illusion
that the system told.
The Babylon machinery is rusting in the rain. We are stepping out of the shadow, breaking off the chain. They try to fuse the copper with the sorrow of the poor, adding up the fractions while we stand outside the door. But nature has a memory and time is on our side. There is nowhere for the architects of misery to hide. The dirt will claim the palace, the roots will split the stone. The righteous man will harvest every seed that he has sown. You cannot bind the water, you cannot tie the wind, you cannot hide the places where the vanity begins. The architecture trembles when the heavy bass line drops. The spinning of the wicked wheel eventually stops. Iron and the clay
will never hold
a story of illusion
that the system told.
The Babylon machinery is rusting in the rain. We are stepping out of the shadow, breaking off the chain. Inspect the pillar, inspect the beam, waking up the city from a heavy, heavy dream. You cannot mix the truth with the fabricated lie. The roots are reaching down, the branches reaching high. Step away from the structure, let the tower crack. There is no turning around, there is no turning back. Stand firm. unseen fire. Cold wind blowing through the concrete trees, but there is a shelter where the spirit breathes. They build the iron towers up to block the sun. They tell the youth the race is already run, buying and selling all the sweat and the time, forcing the righteous into a heavy line. They broadcast the panic on the glowing screen, the most dangerous illusion that the eyes have seen. But deep in the chest, beneath the heavy load, a silent rhythm walking on the ancient road. We carry the spark that they can never buy, a piece of the mountain, a piece of the sky. The unseen fire burning in the cold, a secret weapon older than the gold. They try to freeze the water, they try to bind the wire, but they can never extinguish the unseen fire. The newspaper printing all the heavy dread, trying to plant the sorrow inside of your head. But I listen to the dropping of the bass, finding the center in the solitary place. The foundation is solid, the roots are pulling deep, waking up the conscience from a heavy, heavy sleep. Let the earth-shaking frequency open up the door, stepping out of Babylon and settling the score. We carry the spark that they can never buy, a piece of the mountain, a piece of the sky. The unseen fire burning in the cold, a secret weapon older than the gold. They try to freeze the water, they try to bind the wire, but they can never extinguish the unseen fire. Yeah, guard the flame, keep the vision clear. No room in the temple for the shadow of fear. The analog frequency returning to the street. The victory is hidden in the heavy steppers beat. Pray, protect the mind, protect the soul. Let the vibration make the body whole. Keep it burning. The unseen fire burning in the cold, a secret weapon older than the gold. They try to freeze the water, they try to bind the wire, but they can never extinguish the unseen fire. track to isolate the voice. We blend it all together, it's a spiritual choice, yeah. The harmony is bleeding through the single copper wire, feeding up the ember of the everlasting fire. No artificial tuning, no computer on the desk, just the human element passing through the test. One mic, one blood,
Standing on the floor,
a unified vibration.
knocking on the door.
We weave the melody together like a heavy rope.
Giving to the generation a heavy dose of hope.
Hey.
You catch my heavy breathing when I finish up the line. I step back in the shadow so the brother's voice can shine.
Trinity of power, a triangle of sound, pulling down the lightning to the underground. The imperfection makes it perfect, every little flaw, the most beautiful surrender that the studio ever saw. Hey. The harmony is bleeding through the single copper wire, feeding up the ember of the everlasting fire. No artificial tuning, no computer on the desk, just the human element passing through the test. One mic, one blood,
Standing on the floor,
a unified vibration.
knocking on the
We weave the
door.
melody together like a heavy rope.
Giving to the generation a heavy dose of hope. Giving to the generation a heavy dose of hope.
Yeah! Yeah! Moving close, catch the frequency. The Babylon system promotes the jealousy. They wanna separate it, standing far apart, but we share the lung and we share the heart. Three voices in the dark, becoming only one, a permanent eclipse, blocking out the sun. Together, hey! One mic, one blood,
Standing on the floor,
a unified vibration.
knocking on the door.
We weave the melody together like a heavy rope.
Giving to the generation a heavy dose of hope.
One mic, one blood,
Standing on the floor,
unified vibration.
knocking on the door.
We weave the melody together like a heavy rope.
Giving to the generation a heavy dose of hope.
Hey, yeah. till the break of day.
Don't say a word.
Just listen to the tape. Don't say a word. Just listen to the tape. The heavy padded door is blocking out the streets, protecting every fraction of the heavy beats.
They sell a million lies inside the evening news, but we are capturing the remedy for the blues.
No executive, no suit, no tie, just the microphone waiting for the battle cry.
Watch the silver wheel
Turning in the dark,
catching every frequency,
guarding up the spark.
the copper vein is running
From the console to the heart, this is exactly where the double-wise healing starts.
the reel is rolling,
Printed on the track,
no hesitation.
never looking back.
The analog memory is perfectly designed, a physical testament to free the human mind.
The system tries to filter what the people hear, equalizing all the courage, pushing up the fear.
But the needle hits the red and saturates the sound, planting the resistance deep into the ground.
So let the hammer bleed into the vocal line. Everything is moving by a grand design. Yeah.
Watch the silver wheel
Turning in the dark,
catching every frequency,
guarding up the spark.
the copper vein is running
From the console to the heart, this is exactly where the double-wise healing starts.
the reel is rolling,
Printed on the track,
no hesitation.
never looking back.
The analog memory is perfectly designed, a physical testament to free the human mind.
Yeah! Watch the level, keep it steady. The generation is hungry and they are ready. We capture the lightning, we lock it in the vault. The failure of the Babylon is their own fault. We have the rhythm, the foundation is set. A frequency of truth they will never forget. Roll the tape.
The reel is rolling,
Printed on the track,
no hesitation.
never looking back.
The analog memory is perfectly designed, a physical testament to free the human mind. Free the human mind. A physical
but the love repairs the tears. I said some heavy words I didn't mean to say, and watched the shadow creeping in to steal the light of day. But you did not retreat, you did not close the door. You sat down at the table and you loved me even more. The pride is just a wall that the foolish man will build, but forgiveness is the cup that is beautifully filled.
Pull the needle through, stitching up the fabric, making all things new.
Holding the unbroken thread,
Binding the soul,
taking the broken pieces, making them whole.
making them one.
Grace is the water that washes off the dust. Building up the temple of the patience and the trust. The perfect man is a fantasy, a ghost upon the breeze. We are just the human beings walking through the trees. But when we hold the compassion for the weakness of the friend, that is how the brokenness begins to finally mend. I give thanks for the mercy that you show to me, like a river returning to the comfort of the sea.
Pull the needle through, stitching up the fabric, making all things new.
Holding the unbroken thread,
Binding the soul,
taking the broken pieces,
making them whole, making them one.
grace is the water that washes off the dust. Building up the temple of the patience and the trust. Yeah, nobody is flawless. Drop the heavy stone. You don't have to walk the valley of regret alone. Love is a medicine, love is the repair. Breathing the forgiveness in the midnight air. Hold tight, hey!
Holding the unbroken thread,
Binding the soul,
taking the broken pieces,
making them whole.
making them one. Grace is the water that washes off the dust.
Building up the temple of the patience and the trust. Blow the dust from the magnetic spine, stepping back into the analog time. Late in the night when the faders were red, pushing the limit of what could be said. The engineer turning the frequency low, catching a rhythm the city didn't know. Down in the yard underneath the zinc roof, pressing the vinyl to capture the truth. Let the deep current run under the floor, opening up the forbidden door. Nothing but pressure and pure analog, cutting right through the Babylon fog. The heavy reel spinning in the dark, 78 leaving the mark. A sub-bass frequency shaking the stone, the heaviest rhythm that Kingston has known. They said it was dangerous, locked it away, hiding the master from the light of the day. Too much vibration for the system to hold. A story of iron that never was told, but magnetic memory never forgets, paying the toll of the ancestors. The heavy reel spinning in the dark, 78 leaving the mark. A sub-bass frequency shaking the stone, the heaviest rhythm that Kingston has known. Machine, watch the needle bend, a heavy transmission from beginning to end. We bypass the treble, we focus the low. This is the frequency the underground know. Strictly foundation, no digital line. Watch how the forbidden echo touch the sky. The heavy reel spinning in the dark, 78 leaving a mark. A sub-bass frequency shaking the stone. Walking past the concrete, leaving it behind. Looking for the quiet in the center of the mind. Neon lights are flashing, blinding every eye, building up the towers, reaching for the sky. But the foundation is shaking underneath the weight. I am stepping softly through the heavy iron gate. You can hear the sirens crying in the dark, solitary spark. Let the heavy rhythm guide the steady feet, walking right out of the artificial street. Nothing but the bass line pushing through the cold. The story of the iron that never can be sold. Midnight stepper, marching in the night. Silence the illusion, walking to the light. You can keep the silver, you can keep the gold. We are walking to the Zion that the prophets stole. Every single screen is trying to command, selling us a vision made of sinking sand. We don't need permission Just walking out the yard, stepping in the grass. Time is just a river rushing to the sea. We are cutting cords, setting the spirit free. Midnight stepper, marching in the night. Silence the illusion, walking through the light. You can keep the silver, you can keep the gold. We are walking to the Zion that the prophet stole. The step, keep the formation, moving away from the quiet desperation. The system is a trap, a digital cage. We are turning over a brand new page. Pure analog spirit, total unplug, sweeping the illusion right under the rug. Midnight stepper, marching in the night. Silence the illusion, walking through the light. You can keep the silver, you can keep the gold. Oh, oh. Hear the cry from the dry and lonely land. Jah is stretching out his almighty hand. Walking to the city where the wolves are dressed in gold, trading on the spirits of the young and of the old. They tell you that the truth is just a thing of yesterday, while they build another prison out of iron and of clay. But a whisper in the desert is becoming like a flood, crying out for justice and the innocent man's blood. Let the earth shake in baseline right till every window pane, washing out the vanity, the sorrow and the pain. Nothing but the focus on the straight and narrow path, fleeing from the shadow of the coming day of wrath. Voice in the wilderness, crying out for peace. Conscious meditation, never gonna cease. Babylon is rising high, but truth will never yield. Voice in the wilderness, standing in the field. They want to see the righteous people bow their head in fear, hiding from the message that the prophets made so clear. They feed the youth on promises that rot upon the vine, blinding all the children to the ultimate design. But the roots are growing deeper, where the concrete cannot go, waiting for the living waters silently to flow. Voice in the wilderness, crying out for peace. Conscious meditation, never gonna cease. Babylon is rising high, but truth will never yield. Voice in the wilderness, standing in the field. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Clear the highway, make the path straight. No dirty corruption gonna pass to the gate, strictly early Kingston style, pure foundation. Sending out the frequency to heal the weary nation. Drop the heavy treble, let the sub bass roll. Absolute retention of the body and the soul. Jolly voice in the wilderness, crying out for peace. Conscious meditation, never gonna cease. Babylon is rising high, but truth will never yield. Voice in the wilderness, standing in the field. Voice in the wilderness. You keep looking across the ocean, but look at your feet. They pack their heavy bags to travel across the sea, looking for the paradise where they can finally be free. They climb the highest mountain, they walk the desert dry, always looking for a savior hiding in the sky. But I sit down on a chair made of broken wood and realize that my condition is very, very good.
The kingdom is a seed
planted in the soil of the daily need. Right here
in Zion's backyard,
we found the peace. Watching the heavy, heavy struggle finally cease. Let it go. The Holy Land is everywhere. The faithful people stand
right here in the corner
of this quiet little land. Yeah. The fruit is falling heavy from the branches of the tree. Enough to feed my family, enough to feed the free. I sweep the dusty floor, I wash the window pane, finding the meditation in the falling of the rain. You don't need a golden chariot to reach the higher plane. Just wash the bitterness away and break the mental chain.
The kingdom is a seed
planted in the soil of the daily need. Right here
in Zion's backyard,
we found the peace. Watching the heavy, heavy struggle finally cease.
Let it go.
The Holy Land is everywhere. The faithful people stand
right here in the corner
of this quiet little land. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, cultivate the mind, cultivate the soil. Find the spiritual reward inside the honest toil. You are standing on holy ground right now. Wipe the sweat of anxiety off your brow. Rest.
right here in Zion's backyard.
We found the peace. Watching the heavy,
Heavy struggle finally cease. Let it go.
the Holy Land is everywhere. The faithful people stand
Right here in the corner
of this quiet little land. heavy magnetic fire. 30 years of silence sleeping in the rear, waiting for the analog rhythm to reveal. Amber lights are blinking, shaking off the rust, finding out the frequency hidden in the dust. Patching through the shadows, turning up the gain, washing out the static like the heavy summer rain. Let the cylinders spin, let the heavy motor roll, breathing pure electricity right into the soul. Nothing but the echo of a forgotten day, pushing all the modern illusions away. Tape machine awakens, listen to the hiss, analog memory rising out of this, rolling through the valley of the magnetic deep, waking up the rhythm from a heavy, heavy sleep. Oh, needle on the meter, moving in the dark, catching the vibration from a single spark. Every single channel opening the gate, moving very steady, carrying the weight. The studio is breathing, steady and alive, bringing back the analog spirit to survive. Tape machine awakens, listen to the hiss, analog memory rising out of this, rolling through the valley of the magnetic deep, waking up the rhythm from a heavy, heavy sleep. Yeah, flip the switch, watch the red light glow, let the heavy analog river start to flow. The ghost in the machine is stepping in the room, clearing out the silence, clearing out the gloom.